Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to the Wise Guys on opening night for BYU Basketball. Wise Guys is the largest BYU sports live stream show in the whole world and the most watched collegiate sports live stream talk show on YouTube. Thank you for doing that. Brian Logan is here tonight. Blaine's working the BYU TV pregame show, which starts later on in the hour, but we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just left my 6-month-old.
Yeah.
So he was crawling around, and
He could sense this is a big night.
he could. He had a basketball, which I wasn't too fond of.
That's okay.
I let it slide right
That's
now.
okay.
I let it slide right now. For now, I'm gonna let it slide.
You can't get hurt by a ball.
No.
You know, you got to bring him along.
And he's actually, which is exciting for me. He's like in the 90-something percentile right now. So at this rate, if he can continue to grow for the next 4 months, he'll be like 6'2".
All right.
So I just want to retire at a young age.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. We're working till the end. Hey,
But I'm good. I'm happy to be here. You know, obviously I don't like when Uncle B leaves, but it gives me the opportunity to fill in and
yeah, why not?
have nice conversation with you fine folk. And I'm not talking about you, Dave. I'm talking about the chat. I'm just playing.
Hey, speaking of the chat, Dan says, joining you guys on my business trip in Hong Kong. Your voices sound just as good on the other side of the world. Great to have you on the stream. As with everybody, it's a big basketball night, so let us know where you're watching the show, and we'll all count you down. We got 90 minutes until BYU and Villanova, at least 90 on TNT. I want you to know Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, Eddie, and Mountain America Credit Union. We're distributed by the Deseret News, but you all know that. And watch for our new podcast out tomorrow, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. You can watch all our past content there, and would love it if you hit the free subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So, from the stream, I see Sandy, Utah. I see Provo, Utah. I see Peoria, Arizona. Let's go. Let's go. We know you're checking in from all over the world, and we want to hear from you tonight on this big night. But, Bilo, let's start with some big news out of the Big 12 soccer tournament, where a short time ago, 8th seed BYU upsets number 1 seed and 5th-ranked TCU, 4-3 in penalty kicks to advance to the semifinals. We're going to have more on that tremendous upset a bit later in the show, but hey, we're starting with a knockout punch right out of the gate.
That's a good sign.
That was huge for them.
That's a good sign. Yeah, it was. They worked hard. You know, had to battle an injury that we heard about earlier this morning.
They had a goalie started for the first time this season,
right?
And won the game.
Exactly. So we talk about fighting through adversity as a football team. You know, this soccer team did that just now.
Shout out to Anthony Bishop watching Wise Guys on Facebook from here in Provo. Sylvia's in from Wisconsin. Weston's in from Nebraska. As we span the globe, the Drummonds are in from Montana. Here's what else is coming up on our show tonight. BYU and Villanova are at least 90 minutes away at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We'll hear from head coach Kevin Young.
Yeah, and Cougar football is arguably playing the best, or I could say the biggest game of your life, Dave, and my life, and all of our lives put together against Texas Tech, 8 versus 9 in the game of the year, the Big 12. And we'll hear from head coach Kalani Sitake.
We're also going to visit with Kim and David Marsh. Kim is the Alumni Chapter Chair for the Lubbock area. They'll give us the lowdown on all the BYU activities in and around this game. First time ever that BYU's had a top 10 matchup, and they've been playing football for a long, long time. And it comes a few days after the 8th-ranked Cougars play Villanova in basketball. It's the highest preseason AP ranking they have ever had, and so it's all going down. Cross-country Big 12 championships, we'll update you on that, and another historic run by Jane Hedengren. She's the Michael Jordan of cross-country at BYU and in college sports, and so we'll talk about that. We'll also announce our Relight Athlete of the Week. That's all ahead as we promise to be off by tip-off of BYU and Villanova. So it's a glorified Wise Guys countdown show here on Monday and leading into a very big week. Tell everybody who the Wise Guys are Sponsored by.
Yeah, Brady Plus. And Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, and packaging equipment, dispensaries, and service and repairs with over 150 distribution facilities across the country and over 6,000 employees. Learn more at bradyplus.com.
By Mountain America Credit Union, helping folks achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're buying a home, planning for retirement, or managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, technology, and guidance to help you succeed. And there's a lot of information waiting for you at macu.com, macu.com.
By Eddie, HR and payroll software built for small businesses. Whether you run a dental office in Spanish Fork, Utah, or a construction crew in Lehigh, Eddie helps you hire, onboard, track time, and run payroll all in one place. Simple, local, reliable, built by business owners who believe people come first. See how Eddie can serve your team at Eddie.com.
Michael on the stream says, delivering a package this evening to a man wearing an Oklahoma shirt. I told him I was a BYU fan. He said, it still hurts. Bilo, you were on the field when they took down Oklahoma.
It still feels good.
It still feels good, and it still hurts. Our Relight Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. And when you hear this week's recipient, you'll go, yeah, that sounds about right. So that's coming a bit later. And we remind you, Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News and Deseret.com, Utah's newspaper since 1850. As mentioned, this is one of the greatest weeks of the year to be a BYU fan. You can read my story about it all at DeseretNews.com. That came out this afternoon, capturing tonight and into Saturday with what we got going on. But, Bilo, let's talk about basketball. Number 8, BYU, Villanova, 7:30-ish Mountain Time, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas with 18,000. That's what it seats. Travis Brady was on the show last week. He said it's going to be full of BYU fans. I've had a couple of texts from the arena that says a lot of Arizona fans came over too. It's not a long drive for those folks, but they're having a good time, a great energy inside the arena. The game, by the way, is on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. And you can also listen to it on BYU Radio. Mark Durant was on the show last week and talking about that. He's with Greg Rebel, their 29th season together on BYU Radio. It's big. It feels big.
Yeah. I think not only is it big for us as a fan base, but when you hear just the pregame shows and the podcast, the entire nation is interested in this game, and everybody is looking at AJ, right? Because he's supposed to be the next LeBron James. So if there was a game, let's say Texas was playing tonight instead of BYU, and they had a generational talent, and when this guy's supposed to be the next LeBron James, I'm clearing out my schedule too. You know, I'm leaving my newborn a little bit early to get home. Love you, son, but I'm gonna go watch this game. And I think that's the excitement that it brings, not just here as a fan base, but nationally.
And it's nice that he's on our team.
Right,
he's not on Texas,
and that's why I feel so good.
Usually they're on Texas.
Right.
Hey, Robert, we feel for you. He said I had a chance to go to T-Mobile Arena to see BYU, but I've been fighting bronchitis. Go Cougs. You did the right thing. For everybody in your section, you did the right thing, and you'll be watching on TV with the rest of us.
Rob, you did the wrong thing. You did the wrong thing, Rob. People around you will understand your sacrifice.
I don't know if they will or not. BYU head coach Kevin Young was asked about the magnitude of this game tonight, and his answer might surprise you. Let's listen to it. We're going to listen to it right now. Maybe we're not. DJ, are we going to listen to it?
Right now.
Okay, DJ's working on it. Kevin Young addressed the media before they went down to Las Vegas. And here it is. Let's listen to the coach.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think about it. It's what it should be. It's what I said we wanted to make this place when we got here. I'm grateful that people have decided to come here to help us put us in that situation, but this isn't like a feel-good moment because we have a quote-unquote big game. Like we want to play with the big boys. We want to be a contender in all things college basketball, and it's not like a badge of honor because we got a big game. It's like that's what we should want, and I'm glad that we have it. And now it's a matter of going out and producing.
Kevin Young, I like that attitude. It's like, yeah, it's Villanova, it's TNT, it's opening night, it's Vegas, it's T-Mobile Arena. But so what? This is exactly what we signed up for.
I think it's easy for him to say that.
He's coming from the NBA to this.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
he's on TNT every single night, I think. However, I think that plays into his team's favor because you can tell as a player if a coach is uptight that week or if they try to downplay a game. You could tell the energy that they give off, right? And usually, a good sign of a leader, and especially a football team, is a reflection of their coach. And so, if he has that mindset that, hey, it's it's just another game for us. It's the first game. It's an important game, but all the other stuff doesn't really matter. I think that type of energy and mindset, that attitude, will go into the team where the lights and the stage probably won't be that bright, right? Especially for AJ, he's been playing all over the place.
Yeah, but
right?
this is it. This is big time. This isn't high school. But this isn't
okay. Think about the
team, the national team, the under 19. That's true. This is college. This is D1.
That's true.
This is the thing that's in the way of him getting to the NBA. This is it. I think the juices will be going, but I think he's good enough to not show it. I think he's going to look like he's been out there.
It wouldn't surprise
every day of his life.
It wouldn't surprise me if he came out and was a little rocky. Like I shouldn't say rocky, but shaky, right? I know in football we say all the time, you just got to go hit somebody or hit somebody. I don't know. In basketball, do you got to dunk? You got to get a foul?
Maybe. The North Carolina game will help him.
Yeah.
Because he's already had that at the Delta Center, another big NBA arena. So we'll see. Here's the starting lineup for BYU. A.J. DeBonsa, 6'9" freshman, first team All Big 12. Richie Saunders, 6'5" senior, first team All Big 12. Keba Keita, 6'8" senior, who was the MVP of the North Carolina game. Kennard Davis Jr., a transfer from Southern Illinois, a 6'4" junior. And Rob Wright III from Baylor, 6'2" sophomore point guard. This is the five that's going up against Villanova. And earlier this week, Andy Katz, who's actually going to be with the broadcast later tonight, he revealed his top 10 freshmen. Andy Katz is a big name for college basketball. That's what he does. And he listed his top 5 freshmen. Number 1, he has A.J. DeBonsa from BYU. Number 2, Darren Peterson from Kansas. And number 3, Cameron Boozer from Duke. That'll probably be the order of the NBA draft.
For sure.
Next year. His top 10 sophomores, he lists Boogie Flan of Florida, number 1. Ian Jackson of St. John's, number 2. And right there at number 3 is Rob Wright from BYU.
What a time. What a time to be.
Richie Saunders is on a few lists as well. And there's Jakarta, Indonesia checking in. Mahanrai, good to have you with us on opening night for BYU basketball and the Monday before the huge BYU football game. I was in the football office today, and we'll talk football in a moment, but sat down with Tanner Wall, who will be featured on Game Day, and some other guys. They loved the bye week. It was like 67 degrees at practice today.
How was the energy?
It's all good. Hey, there's Russ checking in from T-Mobile Arena.
Nice.
Good to have you with us from inside where it's all going on. Here's the series notes. 4th meeting between BYU and Villanova. The Wildcats lead at 2-1. They've never met on anything other than a neutral floor. They're on a neutral floor somewhat tonight. I think Villanova, when they come out, is going to realize, I thought we were supposed to be on a neutral floor.
Yeah.
Villanova's picked to finish 7th in the Big East. The coaches picked BYU to finish 2nd in the Big 12 behind Houston. The media picks BYU to finish 3rd. And the Cougars are 8.5-point favorites going into this game tonight. Hey, Russ from inside T-Mobile Arena, let us know what the energy feels like, and we'll share it with everybody else. And when you look at the polls, BYU is sitting pretty good.
Yeah, 8 in the nation, highest preseason ranking in program history.
Think about that. They've been shooting baskets since 1902.
Yeah, that's you were 10 then, right?
I was 12. But Blaine was 30. That's an important thing to remember.
You're right. Uncle B is 20 years older.
Think about that. We had Danny Ainge in his run. We had Jimmer in their run. Yeah. Never before. Krešimir Ćosić in his run. Never before has BYU been ranked as high as 8 in the preseason AP Top 25.
And even the coaches poll, which I don't know, in football, usually there's a good correlation, right, with the coaches poll and the AP poll. There may be certain spots that are a little bit different, but I think anytime the coaches poll is like that shows the respect. But also it comes down to the players that you have on your roster.
Yeah.
When you have one of the top freshmen on almost every list, and then you have a top sophomore on a couple of lists. You have returning guys that are on All-American lists. That respect level shoots up to where, your rankings get put in that position.
Jason's on the stream from Oklahoma City. Let's see. Brenda is on the stream from Wyoming. Great to have you guys with us on the Wise Guys. Keep them coming. We'll try to give everybody shouts out tonight.
When you said Brenda, I thought that was going to be Auntie B. I was like,
no.
oh, you still watch?
I'm sure Brenda is, but these.
Did you turn in to watch me specifically, Auntie?
No, Bill and Brenda watching from Wyoming. Excited for tonight's game. Everybody is. Bracketology today. CBS Sports put out their opening day bracketology. They project BYU as a 2 seed in the West for the NCAA tournament. Never been a 2 seed in the West.
No.
Not with 68 or 74 or however many teams are going to jam into that thing. And they got BYU as a 2 seed.
Does this put more pressure on the team?
It should because expectation should put pressure, but there's more talent assembled here than I think, as Mark Durant said, there's more talent here assembled than I think we've ever seen before. Now they got to come and gel together, and that takes some time. They're not going to be world champions tonight, but tonight's the start of the journey. By the way, that T-Mobile Arena, Arizona and Florida are meeting in game 1. Arizona, as Russ updates us, is up by 2 at the start of the second half, 50-48. Florida is the defending national champion. So this is the big 4 tonight. And the Cougars and Villanova will follow 30 minutes after the Wildcats and Gators. So we probably got a good hour and some change before all that goes down. But we'll keep you posted on that. And you'll know, too, because you're watching as we participate here today.
And we have rest, too. We have rest to give us the updates.
Yeah, we do have rest. T-Mobile Arena is an interesting place. It's sitting right there behind New York. When they started to build it, we were like, because I spent 20 years down there in Vegas, and they start to build that. I'm like, how are you going to put an arena in that spot? And then they just did it because that's how Vegas does it. It's the home of the 2023 Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights and the Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA. Last year, they had that NBA in-season tournament. Yep. The finals were there at T-Mobile. And Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fought there in 2017. So a bunch of stuff at that arena. And tonight, BYU plays there for the first time. BYU's played in Vegas at Mandalay Bay. They played at the MGM. And tonight they're playing at the mothership, T-Mobile.
That's a great word that you said, mothership, because in football, I think a good one for college is the Cowboy Stadium, right? A lot of like the conference championship, a lot of season openers are there as well. And for a player, it's
big time.
It is. It's big time. It's like playing in New York in the Garden.
They're going there next month.
Exactly.
How about playing in the new Boston Garden? Yeah, they're going there next week. We're at the start of something special. When AJ was here, you could just feel it. He's a special player, and we're at the start of something special. After tonight, BYU will play Holy Cross at the Marriott Center Saturday night at 7. Blaine and I will be on the call for that one on ESPN+. Then Delaware's here on Tuesday, November 11th on the CBS Sports Network. And then BYU takes on UConn on Saturday, November 15th at TD Garden in Boston at 5 o'clock Mountain Time on Fox. That night at 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time is the BYU TCU football game on ESPN. So you can get basketball in before football, and in the middle of it all, you can watch our game day show.
I was just saying, how are you going to do that?
Well, Fox has got the basketball game, and that's on the East Coast. Okay. Gotcha. We'll be sitting in the cold at LaVelle Edwards Stadium doing our show as Trayson checks in from Savannah, Georgia. Good to have you on the stream. Lance is in from Salt Lake City. Here comes Mike from San Antonio. Good to have you with us.
Nice.
Yegor Dioman, Timberwolves and Nets tonight, and then the Nets at the Pacers Wednesday, Pistons and Nets at Friday. He's playing pretty good out of the gate.
He's quickly like becoming a fan favorite, and I love seeing that in the interaction. Obviously the play is good, but you got to remember a lot of those fans weren't happy with the pick, and I think last year with BYU, obviously they made it to the Sweet 16, but there wasn't really a lot of national coverage. I would say that coverage, right? this year is going to be completely different. So I think it's harder for those fan bases over on the East Coast, or even analysts. We see this in football, right? To really stay up and watch some of those late night games that are covered here in the West, and it's completely different. They're like, oh, we love this kid, and then you have some of the fans that are like, or the BYU fans are like, see, we told you, we tried to tell you guys.
We tried to tell you. When he comes to the Delta Center, there'll be some Utes that boo him,
of course,
but it'll be fun to have Yegor back in town. Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus Mountain America Credit Union and by Eddie's. And Wise Guys is by Eddie, and Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News on this special opening night for college basketball and a huge night for BYU football. And I know everyone on the stream wants to talk football, so let's do it for a moment. Let's start with some new details. Television for TCU announced today. The TCU game's coming up November 15th at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. It'll be on ESPN at 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Sorry, you guys on the East Coast. It's already the next day in Jakarta and Singapore and Hong Kong, so you guys will be okay. But BYU Sports Nation Game Day will start at 6 Mountain Time on BYU TV and ESPN+. TCU at BYU's at 8:15 p.m. Mountain on ESPN. It's going to be chilly. Let's hope this week's weather is also next week's weather, because it's been awesome up here. Post-game show late in the night on BYU TV and ESPN+.
I was going to say, sorry for them for being late. Sorry for us. We're going to be freezing.
We got some heaters. We'll have some heaters. Here are the polls. BYU is number 8 in the AP. They're number 8 in the coaches poll. The college football playoff rankings are announced tomorrow at 5 o'clock Mountain Time on ESPN. ESPN projects BYU with a 69.3% chance of making the playoffs. I have a feeling they'll probably be around 8 or 9 tomorrow when the college football playoff poll comes out.
Yeah, it's good, but in regards to the body of work and when you look at some of the other teams that are in front of them and how they lost and who they lost to and strength of records and all these different metrics that should go into the voting, I think it's a little bit unfortunate. But at the very end of the day, the situation that BYU found themselves in the beginning of the season, with their starting quarterback leaving, and then for them to be in the position that they're in now, we couldn't ask for more, so that's also exciting as well. I honestly, Dave, I wish this would have happened the next week, and the reason why is because I don't know how much of pressure will be created on these guys based off of the official announcement. They know, right? But also you got to think about this too. Texas Tech is going to be ranked, as well. So I just hope that wouldn't, put any more pressure or make, the players, prepare a different way and kind of go out of their normal selves that what got them, to this point. But at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, why not? You want to be in there. Yeah. Everybody that's not in there wishes they were in there.
That's true. And it also helps with recruiting right now. Yeah. If you have those kids that are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or looking at another school, if I see every week that the school that is in my top 5 or top 2 is, consistently in those playoff rankings, when I sit down every Tuesday as a high school kid that's getting recruited, and I see that school's in my top 1 or 2, that also helps. It makes a deal.
Linda on the stream says, I heard Yegor is injured. We double-checked. He does have a banged-up foot, and so not sure how much Yegor is going to be in. He has been playing. He's been playing really well, so we'll keep you posted on that. But those are the games ahead for the Nets. We'll see if Yegor can get in there. Carolyn's in from Phoenix. This is a busy night. Go Cougs. We're glad you cut out some time for us. Larry's got a question about L.J. Martin. We'll talk about that in just a second. Saturday, it's on. 8th-ranked BYU at 8-0, 5-0 in the Big 12. At number 9, Texas Tech at 7-1 and 5-1 in the conference. It's the first top 10 matchup in BYU's history. They've had some games against teams where they're in the top 10 and their opponent isn't, or their opponent's been in the top 10 and they haven't been. This is the first time that both have been in the top 10. BYU SN Game Day is at 8 a.m. on BYU TV and ESPN+. The Cougars and Texas Tech on ABC at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Post-game show on BYU TV and ESPN+. ESPN's College Game Day will also originate from Lubbock. So you're like, yeah, we got our game day against their game day.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what we can do on our game day. They got to cover the whole world of college football, and they'll have some cool stuff, and they do a great job. But what we can show are the players warming up, and that's what they're not going to show. So just put us on a split screen, and you can watch the Cougs warming up and all those storylines, and go back and forth with game day. It's the first time we've ever gone head-to-head with game days for a BYU game that game day is at. So we're going to do it. That's how we do it. We're just doing it.
As a fan, like putting myself outside of being an analyst and a former player and watching the show, I would watch our show.
Yeah, I would too. Especially because we work on it.
Not even. I mean, I'm not even me. If I wasn't even on it, I promise you, just because of, as a fan, I want the information about my team and my team only, and their opponent. You know, with game day, like you said, they have to cover the entire nation, all of college football.
Well, we're going to we'll just, use your remote, but we're going to be here. We're going to have 2 hours of broadcast excellence that we hope that you'll take in with us on a big day.
Watch ours live and then replay theirs after.
Jess is on YouTube. She says, "Love the Wise Guys show." Thank you so much. Kalani Sitake addressed the media today, as he does on Mondays ahead of game week. Let's listen to his thoughts as BYU gets ready for the game of the year in the Big 12.
All right. Well, off of bye week, and I thought I had a really productive week last week, and looking at this week now for
recording in progress.
Our game, going to Lubbock. We're excited for the matchup. Looking forward to the game. Overall, just the energy and the excitement around it. So we're excited for our role in it, and looking forward to the matchup. I can say that Joey McGuire is a really good friend of mine. I've spent many meetings and dinners with him, hanging out and picking his brain, and he's a great builder of culture and character. And so I was really impressed with Texas Tech and their entire group, all their players that they brought to the media day this summer, and carried themselves really respectful and carried themselves with a lot of confidence. And you can see a lot of that working through what they've done this season, what they've accomplished. So congratulations to them and their fans. We're just looking forward to this matchup, and we know it's going to take the best of us to go in there and be victorious. But I'm just focused on the prep this week, and focused on what we can accomplish and how much better we can become as a team between now and by the time we get there on Saturday morning before kickoff. So looking forward to the matchup. Excited, super respectful to Texas Tech. I mean, if you talk to a lot of BYU fans, and myself, I'm a fan too. We've always had a connection to Texas Tech because of Coach Leach, and so always found ourselves cheering for them and their success, especially with what he's been able to do there for so many years, and then now seeing how it all works out, and that they have a great man at the head of their program with Joey McGuire, and seeing the things that he's been able to accomplish in his coaching career. They have a great staff, a lot of people that we know on their coaching staff, and a lot of great players that obviously have built, that they've bought into and have built around that culture that Coach McGuire set there. And it's not a coincidence or a chance that they're successful. So looking forward to the matchup and getting ready to make sure that we're at our best so we can give it a shot. Everybody I talked to today at the football office was thrilled with the bye week, rejuvenated. And of course, the big question is L.J. Martin and Jack Kelly. And Kalani was asked about that right after his opening comments. And he said this. He said, quote, "They're not out. They're expected to practice this week. Their status will be evaluated as it goes." Martin and Kelly both dealing with shoulder issues. But Kalani looked optimistic. And as of today, and then they practice this afternoon. As of today, they're in, and then we'll see as the banging goes on throughout the week, and whether or not they're in game shape or not. They need both of them for this game. If it's the game of all games, you got to go in with all your guns, and so that's the big question.
Yeah, I think it's an easy choice. What I love about Kalani, it's making sure that it's right for. It's right about we do the kid right. It's making sure, or do right by the kid, making sure that we don't put him in a position where he's not hurting himself, before he can make an impact with the team. And I think with those two players, how they've played and what they bring to both sides of the ball for this team, and I think at 80%, LJ is probably better, especially with the second and third string guys that we have now. It's probably going to be more productive and better. Same thing with Jack Kelly, right? An 80% Jack is probably going to make more of an impact than a healthy, guy that's the second or third string. I think that's where you have to look at that balance of, one, is their injury going to hurt the team by them being out there? And two, how much more can we get from, our second and third string guys?
Linebackers really struggled against Iowa State.
Yeah.
They were banged up, and even Glasker's not been 100%. Kelly was not near himself, and Sarah went out with a stinger early. Again, they're all supposed to play this week. The only questions really were Kelly and LJ. They need LJ. LJ's still, even missing last week for the most part, still the leading rusher in the Big 12.
That's crazy.
The thing is, when he went out early and BYU started throwing the ball, and Bear did just fine, threw for 300 plus. And when they don't turn the ball over, they're in every game. Yeah. Chance to win, chance to come from behind. They've had a week now of, hey, we might have LJ, we might not. And they'll know here in these next few days whether or not he's going to be able to do it. And so that gives Bear a little more preparation instead of LJ's out and he's not coming back.
Yeah.
And Bear's handled everything so good on the fly that you have to think that even if he had 2 weeks notice where Martin might not play, he's going to be better prepared for either got to run a little more or the backups are going to be in a little more. We're going to throw a few more passes to Rex or Nawahini or whoever. I just think that the element of surprise is gone, and so now it's Aaron Roderick knows how to game plan, put a game plan together that might not feature LJ Martin.
Yeah. No, I think you make a really great point. Both of them, A-Rod and Bear, had to do it on the fly with LJ being on. I guarantee you they did not go into practice that week with plays and preparation, thinking that LJ was going to be out, right? That's just not how you prep. And up until this last week, I've been giving Bear a lot of credit, and rightfully so, but I think that credit has shifted to A-Rod for me now. I see him on the same level as a Coach Hill in regards to how valuable he is. And I said this, last week on another interview that I did, but I think we saw such a drastic difference when Coach Hill came in because the defense was so bad. And, it was the low of the low and then immediately shot up. So we can see visually, right? Like, oh, my gosh, we went from worst to first. But with A-Rod, he's been here for a while, and it's really been inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. And now he's at the top. And to me, I'm like, okay, maybe it's more maybe we should give A-Rod credit versus Bear. I think obviously being a freshman and a true freshman and all of the storylines behind it, he gives us credit, but I think we should start giving A-Rod more credit.
Well, A-Rod, I think we do give him credit, and maybe we should give him more credit.
Yeah.
But Bear is also the one not throwing it to the other team, and he's not fumbling it.
That's true too.
In his debut, and that makes Bear and A-Rod having a great season. Makes him 8-0. Lance on the stream asked about Sione Moa. Kalani said he's not close. JoJo Phillips should be back this week, but Moa is still a ways off with the nature of his injury. I don't even know if we're going to see him back this year.
Yeah, Kalani said JoJo practiced last week.
Yeah, so we should see JoJo. And JoJo's 6'5", gives you another target who's fast. But we're not going to see Moa in Lubbock. Here are the game notes. We haven't played Texas Tech very much. This is just the third meeting. The series is tied 1-1. BYU beat them here as a new member of the Big 12, 27-14 back in 2023. Texas Tech beat BYU 21-20 in 1940. That's the last meeting in Lubbock, 1940.
That's when Uncle B was.
Jim says hello from Angier, North Carolina. Good to have you on the East Coast with us tonight. Texas Tech is 7-1, 5-1 in the Big 12. Their only loss was at Arizona State, 26-22, and that was back on October 18th, the same day BYU beat Utah for the third straight time. But quarterback Baron Morton did not play against the Sun Devils,
right?
And that was a tight game. He's playing now. He's back, and and mostly healthy. He's got over 1,500 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Those yards almost mirror Bear Bachmeier. But he's got a little more experience, does this Morton. He's also been banged up, knocked out of a couple games this year. Cameron Dickey is their big runner. He's got 670 yards rushing. He's averaging 6 yards a carry and 9 touchdowns. But let's be honest, stopping the run has been a strength for BYU.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at what BYU did to Utah, and yeah, they may have outplayed them in regards to the yards, but as far as it making a true impact, it didn't. And that's a sign of a good team, right? Like when Iowa State, I think Iowa State's quarterback came into that game throwing only 2 interceptions and then threw 3 that game. That's a sign of what a good defense does, right? Yeah. And you hear from a lot of fans and sometimes certain analysts where they're like, they just had a really bad game against BYU. Texas Tech.
Things just suddenly went wrong.
Well, did they just suddenly go wrong, or did BYU cause that? Right. And you could look down the line when it comes to Utah's defense and what they did against Cincinnati. Same thing. You look at Texas Tech defense, and then you could put BYU's defense in that category as well.
Yeah, I like what Mark says. How exciting is it these days to be a Y fan? With all the sports they're excelling in, pumped for tonight and amped for Saturday. 13 minutes and 10 seconds left in Game 1 down in Vegas, so they're a good 45 minutes away. They're not going to start before 7:30, and I still think it'll be later than that. But we'll keep you posted, and we're glad to have you on the Wise Guys as we count it down. But you got it. It is big.
You know how fun it is? I do laundry 2 to 3 times a week just so I could recycle my BYU year.
Okay.
That's how proud I am at this moment where we're at as a program, our athletic program, that I want to represent as much as I can. So I got to watch Let It Close.
Here's what I'm glad you do that. Here's what Weston says. I'm convinced that Bear wouldn't be having the success that he's having if he were playing somewhere else, and BYU wouldn't be having the success they're having without Bear. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good
observation, and probably true.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? Like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, right? Do we really now? We settled the debate with Tom Brady and Belichick really, really fast. But yeah, you look at that relationship and how it's truly 50-50 in regards to making it work and really needing each other, right? Yeah. And some of those great relationships, Michael Jordan and his coach, I forgot his name. Sorry, but it's my CTE kicking in.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, right? They always compliment each other. I don't know, like I wouldn't have done it without him, and vice versa. So I think that's a really good point.
Bullseye with a question about Raider Demooney. We hear he's getting better. We'll know midweek what his status is for this weekend. But Kalani had talked about the two, Jack Kelly, as he's asked specifically, and LJ Martin. We'll keep you posted on Raider Demooney. The point spread is 10.5 for Texas Tech. There's some respect for you. Cougs coming in. They've been underdogs now for 3 straight games. Yeah. And they're still undefeated. So 10.5 for Texas Tech. The weather's going to be perfect. Sunny, mid-70s for November in Lubbock, Texas. And how about the uniforms? The Cougars are going to come out in the Sailor Coug helmet. We're going to show you. Here it is on the stream. If you're watching on the stream, you're looking at it now. If you're listening on the podcast, it is a total royal blue helmet with a white face mask. And instead of the stretch Y, there's the Sailor Coug, which is on our wall behind me. Right there. That's the Sailor Coug. That's on the helmet. And it looks awesome. It's the first time they've ever put this combination together. So the Sailor Coug helmet, royal jersey, royal pants, white trim. That's how they're rolling out in Lubbock.
Yeah, I love the counter uniform, because if fans, if you guys don't know, that Texas Tech is having a special uniform day that's inspired by Patrick Mahomes. He's the one. So when you go out and you watch them play, that design is inspired by Patrick Mahomes. So I love how our equipment guys said, not so fast. Hold on.
Not so fast.
We got something
we got our stuff.
we got our stuff too.
Hey, Neil's on the stream from Tucson. Good to have you. BYU's on a 10-game winning streak. That's the second longest in the country among P4 programs behind Ohio State. Nobody has more than BYU other than Ohio State, and the Buckeyes are at 12. And here's Brian's 3 keys to victory. We write these down, and then next week, Blaine will be back, but we'll revisit your keys. And if you're on the money, we'll give you a shout-out, and if you're off the mark, we'll discuss it with our live stream audience. So Brian's 3 keys to victory for BYU on Saturday. Here they come.
I think the last time I was on, I got them all right. I think so.
Expect nothing less.
So watching the game against Cincinnati was the first, or not Cincinnati, Kansas State, Texas Tech and Kansas State was the first time I actually got to, right, because the bye week. And I was 10 times more impressed with that team on both sides of the ball. They remind me so much of us, BYU, as far as how athletic they are, on both sides of the ball, tall, fast, physical, assignment sound. I can go, down the list. And so with that being said, when I think about that matchup, it brings back to Utah, because we're very similar to Utah. And usually those games come down to turnovers and who has the ball last, right? Getting extra possessions, single score type games. So the first number one thing is winning the turnover battle. That's number one. Number 2 is going to be establishing the run.
By the way, you got to that number 1 key. You know how, if we were going to go to Disneyland, you just get on I-15, you go straight there.
Yeah.
You went over to Colorado and then over to, I think you got into Iowa, and then you spun it back around. You came through Arizona, and then you got to Disneyland. So that was an impressive trip.
No, then I stopped at Jack in the Box. Stopped at the bathroom, went to the gas station.
Win turnover battle is key number 1.
Key number 1.
All right.
And number 2 goes back to that long trip that I took, which is establishing the run.
Okay.
Right? Which is going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging with LJ and his status.
However, you can establish a run with your quarterback.
Absolutely. I'm happy you said that.
I know, and people go, hey, can't run him that much. You're right, but he does.
Yeah.
And he's 230 pounds.
He can take it.
And if he gets hurt, BYU's in big trouble, as is every team in America.
Right. Including
the Chiefs, So there's all those risks in play. But if LJ's out, you can still establish the run.
Well, yeah, 100%. And to your point, Texas Tech, their loss when they had their backup quarterback in, right? Yeah. You look at a lot of Arizona State's losses, they had their backup quarterback in. When they beat Texas Tech, they had their starter in and starting running back. So yeah, the risk versus reward, it's, do you want to keep him healthy and potential and lose the game, or do you want to potentially get him hurt and potentially win the game? I think we're going to go with the latter there. So that's number 2.
Okay, and number 3, the third key for victory from Brian Logan
is to start fast.
Okay,
prevent a slow start, and specifically, I would say more on the offensive side,
like Iowa State. They went down and scored, but then they sputtered a little bit.
And then same thing with Colorado.
Yep.
Right. Arizona, I put a little asterisk by it just because there was that weird weather delay. But on the road, BYU so far has shown that they have very slow starts. And this is a team that if you have that lead, if you're trying to claw back like you did with Arizona, Colorado, Iowa State, they're going to be gone. It's too late. That trip that Dave just talked about, they're doing that 3 times. They're going to be lapping us if BYU has a slow start.
I didn't know what your keys were going to be, but there's an additional support note about avoiding a first-round knockout.
Oh, yeah.
Texas Tech has outscored their opponents 119-13 in the first quarter.
There you go.
BYU holds a 61-41 first quarter edge against their opponents. So Texas Tech comes out with guns a-blazing, guns up, right? That's what they like to say. So I've seen it a bunch of fights, just get out of the first round.
Yeah.
And settle in. And that's what they did against Iowa State. Now, they took some punches, right? And they are almost about to get knocked out.
Yeah.
It's 24-10 or 17-7, and Iowa State's driving to score again, and then Logan Latui had that pass thrown right to him.
Yeah.
That turned the tide. You get out of that, you get your legs back, and then all of a sudden you just jab your way and you win the fight.
Think about Kansas State and that game. It was 12-7 at halftime, and then the score ended up being what, 3 touchdowns. They ended up winning. So you could see how fast things can get out of hand. But to your point, yeah, just make it out. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Sounds easy. It's our pleasure to welcome Kim and David Marsh in from Central West Texas, Lubbock area. They're getting ready to welcome the Cougars to town, and we welcome them to the Wise Guys. It is so great to have both of you with us on such a big night to start a big week. How are you?
Thank you. It is such a good day to be a Cougar. We are happy to be here.
We are
very excited for the invite.
We're glad to have you on the show. Now, Kim, you're the BYU Alumni Chapter Chair for the area. How many Cougars are in West Texas?
We've got about 250 on our registered alumni. So it's a smaller chapter, but we are mighty in spirit. So
one thing I learned, I served my mission down in San Antonio in that area. And one thing I learned about Cougar fans in Texas is they just get in their car and they just drive to wherever that game is. Do you anticipate a good showing of Royal Blue on Saturday?
We really hope so. We're the only away game in Texas, and like you said, Texans aren't afraid to travel. Being in the hub city, we're about 5 hours from a lot of the bigger cities. But man, the Texas pride is strong, and Cougar blood bleeds blue here. So we're really hoping we've got a bunch of people come in, and the hype for the game couldn't be bigger.
Yeah, there's tons of hype already, and we're already hearing that this is the biggest game in BYU history, and when it comes to both teams being ranked and whatnot. So how excited are the alumni to finally get BYU in town, but not just in town, but arguably one of the biggest game in the history of the program?
Yeah, it's true. It's a huge game. And like Kim said, it's the only game in Texas this year. So we've been anticipating a big turnout, kind of regardless of how the season looks. But I just came from work where I'm surrounded by Texas Tech fans. Some of my colleagues are all just the biggest Tech fans to be. And I proudly wore my BYU gear every time this week. When we walk through Costco or whatever, we're always wearing BYU in our family. But this week we have had more people stop us to talk to us about the game, about BYU, even about the church and about other things. It's been different. We've been here for 5+ years, and there's been more hype and more questions and more conversation this week than there's ever been. There are already students camping outside 5 days before the tents are already up there next to the stadium, and the hype's going to be huge. It's been really fun.
If BYU was a rock band, they'd be like the Rolling Stones coming in. Only the younger Rolling Stones, not today's Rolling Stones. But Kim, what are the activities planned around the game for Cougar fans? What do you got going on?
We're pumped with the 11 o'clock kickoff. We have an early tailgate. So from 8 to 10, we're meeting at the Texas Tech Alumni's center. It's called the Merkett Center, and they're letting us use it so we can host it. And we're going to throw a big, huge Cougar party the way we do. We'll have inflatables. Cosmo and the cheer squad will come. We'll have representation from different colleges and booths, and we're just really thrilled to have everybody come.
Lots of swag as always.
Nice. Lots of swag. There is always a service project wrapped around these road trips. What do you have planned for that, and how can folks get involved who may not make it to the game but can still make a contribution?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. This is the crowning jewel of the BYU tailgates.
Yeah,
this is
true.
The purpose behind the party with the purpose.
This is the thing that we've been the most excited about, honestly. Living in Lubbock, we've been very excited about the Cougs Care Project and the help that it gives, the PR it gives, the bridges that it builds.
So we are doing a book drive for Literacy Lubbock, which is a nonprofit here in town that does everything from toddler story times, which you'll appreciate having a new baby, Brian, and all the way up to adult ESL and GED classes. They do community book fairs where they distribute over 8,000 books a year to their community. And the cool thing about our Cougs Care Project is we've been able to partner with the Texas Tech Lubbock Alumni Chapter.
There you go.
There it is. So used to saying the BYU Lubbock Alumni Chapter. No, this is with Texas Tech. And I'm working with their president. His name's Chris Richards. And we've established this great partnership. And he said, hey, we want in on this drive too, and let's make it even bigger. So we have a bunch of different drop locations for new or used books all throughout Lubbock, a couple on Tech campus, a couple in locally owned restaurants and stores, and along our like Friday night art walk that we have in town. And so we're just trying to spread the word and get people to show up with free incentives and different giveaways. So there's 3 ways people can donate. One is they can bring a book to one of our drop sites. Another, and if you're out of town, we would love to have you help participate. So we have a QR code there for our event for Literacy Lubbock's Venmo, and that money would go towards the tutoring for their ESL and adult education classes. And the other one is their Amazon wish list. And those books, they've already handpicked of books that they would love to distribute. Some of them are as cheap as $3 and all the way up. And we're just so excited and thrilled and feeling very fortunate to be teamed up with Tech in doing this service project.
I'll tell you,
as far as no, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I say we were just looking at it. You guys have been busy. That's you guys aren't messing around at all. This is a well thought out planned attack. And one thing we love about BYU fans all over the world that listen to the wise guys and everything else that's out there is they get involved. And so all those website lists are now in our stream where people can click. And they're in the show notes if you're listening to this on the podcast, where you can make a difference in Lubbock, even if you never even get to Lubbock. And isn't that part of the magic? When BYU comes to town, they might beat your team, but when the team leaves, the town's better off that they came.
That's what we're hoping.
2 goals there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me say this too. As far as we're aware, I think this is the first time that an opposing team's alumni group has partnered for the Cougs Care Project. So
wow.
Huge shout out to Texas Tech. I'll say this. I remember as a missionary, when you would ask people how they feel about, church or the Book of Mormon, instinctively, they would touch their heart. They would touch their heart as they try to describe how they feel. When you ask people how they feel about West Texas, they instinctively touch their heart and they say, I love West Texas. It's a special place. It is the Texas of Texas I've described, and the people here are fantastic. And so we're really excited to be able to do this project together.
Well, since we've been in the Big 12 and, a lot of the alumni chapter, that when they do the service program and other fans of Big 12 teams, when they get asked how to feel about BYU fans, they do the same thing. They touch their heart now, because they're like, it's hard to hate this team. I want to hate them, but I can't. And, this type of work is the reason why. So I appreciate that more than anything. Just being able to be a part of a university that, post graduation, we're still trying to make a difference, right? And I think that stems from the mission statement.
Mal on the stream says, "Love this. I'll be donating via Amazon from Southern California." So Mal's first one in to help make a difference there in Lubbock. And David, I know Kim's handed you this assignment. What are your 3 keys for a BYU victory on Saturday?
Hand it to me, Dave. I stole it from her. Fingers. I echo a lot what my friend Brian Logan there is saying. So first off, win the turnover battle. I put the same thing.
Okay.
I did a poll at work of my Texas Tech friends, and I asked them how many of them remember this game from 2 years ago. And shockingly, if you're a Tech fan, you have blocked this memory from your mind that we this game 2 years ago. If you wear blue, though, however, you will remember 5 BYU takeaways.
Yeah.
0 gives turnovers. So, you watch them, these linebackers, they're pretty fierce and they punch. You saw it in the K-State game if you were watching that one. So you got to take a lesson here from Bear and 2 hands on the ball, I think. And if defense keeps doing its thing, then I think that we come away with winning the turnover battle is going to be huge in this game.
All right, there's key number 1. What's number 2?
Number 2, all right, you'll like this. Remind Texas Tech of Mike Leach's roots. All right, so,
now, how do you do that? Do you go out there and throw for 300 yards or what?
I think go and throw for 300 yards. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Bear showed he could do it last week. So
yeah, and to your point, Brian says establish the run game. Yeah, I mean absolutely, but their run defense is good. LJ's questionable. We'll see. I loved what Chase and Parker and company were doing in the air last week or 2 weeks ago in Ames. So if we're able to establish that, show where Mike Leach has his roots from. People in Lubbock love Mike Leach.
Sure.
That's another heart toucher.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
absolutely.
And so that's been a fun connection to make. Honestly, another bridge to build here with my Tech friends.
All right, before your third and final key, Michael on this live stream said just purchase 5 books for the fundraiser. So nice job, Michael. All right, key number 3 from David Marsh in Lubbock, Texas. What do you got?
Key number 3, Dave. The South Plains is a windy place. All right. BYU will need to take the wind out of Tech sails. All right.
Nice.
Keep the crowd quiet. You mentioned the first quarter success that Tech has had. They didn't have that against K-State, and it took them a while to get rolling. They didn't have that against Utah, and it took them a long time to get rolling. So I think
Tech's fan base is loud. They are intense. They are really good fans. And so we'll have to keep them quiet.
It's a good stadium. It's a great fan base.
Yeah. And it's a huge game, right? It's going to be sold out. It should be loud. It's number 8 against number 9. And
there's kids already,
might be
already
a
there.
preview of the Big 12 championship game. But Kim, do you endorse all 3 of those keys?
I will trust David with everything, especially.
Let's finish with this one. So both of you had great experiences at BYU, and then you chose the flattest place on the planet to live, having gone to school here at the foothills of these giant mountains. But take a moment, each of you, and summarize your BYU experience and how meaningful it's been ever since as you've lived your lives.
Oh, wow. You want me first?
Sure. So I remember when I was a freshman at BYU, right before the school year started, my dad gave me a priesthood blessing, and he said, that you'll feel lucky that you're here at this university. And every day I would walk up to campus and see the Y, and I was like, I do feel lucky to be here. This is a really great place to be. And we've talked about this, to go to class and have your biology teacher quote the Book of Mormon or quote the Bible, and then to go to humanities and they're sharing their testimony of the New Testament. It's just an incredible environment. And now moving forward, we graduated quite a few years ago, and
not that many.
To be able to rep the Y and to talk to people and to have this connection, not only of education and of but of excellence, that BYU is just so elite and so tied to all the important things in my life. It's become a really special place. Growing up, I did not think I would have the family that is always wearing BYU clothes, but we are always wearing BYU clothes, all of us. And so, anyway, it means a lot to me, and this university and the good that it does throughout the entire world is a blessing to be a part of.
Hey, Kim, it's funny. My mom said the same thing to me before I left, junior year, because I went to junior college, and she would always constantly tell me, like, you don't know how blessed you are to be here. For you to be not LDS, for them to give you a scholarship, she's like, you don't understand the magnitude that, this does for you in your life. And she's always pushed me to education. So then every time she would see me after that, she'd be like, don't mess it up.
I love it.
All right, David.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Mm-hmm. I remember Elder Holland's talk in which he said the first time he drove through Provo going to Salt Lake or higher and saw the Y on the mountain and said to his mom, that must be then the greatest college ever in the world. And I echo that. The same, the fusion of the social aspect, the spiritual aspect, the academic aspect, the service aspect. I feel fortunate that I got kind of all my goals there at BYU. I got into the grad program that I wanted. I developed my testimony further. I made and deepened great friendships. Kim and I met and have a wonderful family. Our kids to wearing BYU clothes all the time. Our son, I don't even remember how, but maybe all of his clothes were dirty. I guess, Brian, to your point, and he wore a non-BYU shirt to class one day, and his coach / history teacher saw him in the hallway and feigned a heart attack. Who is this kid?
You have other clothes?
That's hilarious.
When you guys first laid eyes on each other, did you know that years later you'd be on the Wise Guys as a veteran married couple with kids, or what was it like?
Our first date, I stood her up.
Ooh. Is that true?
Unintentionally.
I know.
He made up for it.
You did make it. Nice job. You did the right thing. What do you think of this basketball game that's about 40 minutes away now? What are you guys excited to check it out?
Yeah, we're wondering when we're going to wrap up here and turn that on.
We're going to wrap up right now.
Is that why you keep looking over your shoulder? Is that why you keep looking over your shoulder to see if the game's starting? Like,
it's the other game's got 6:20 left in it, and about 20 minutes of warm up. So we got about 35 minutes or so. But hey, we salute the two of you for how you represent the Y and everything it stands for, and Kim with your service with the Alumni Association. We hope you have an awesome weekend. It's way overdue. Not since 1940 have you had the Cougars in your hometown, and you got them this weekend. And please say hi to everybody for us, and thank you so much for giving us a few minutes on the Wise Guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Brian, thanks so much. We enjoyed it.
You got it. We'll see you soon. That's Kim and David Marsh in Lubbock getting ready for the big game. And I'll tell you what, they got everything planned.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And we appreciate everybody who will get involved in that fundraiser and donate, purchase some books or some money and help us make a giant impact on Lubbock. So that when the football team leaves with a win, after the sting leaves, people will go, hey, you know what? Those BYU guys are all right.
Yeah.
Look what they did to our bookstore and all that stuff.
I forgot the team that we played recently. We had the food drive. Might have been maybe Iowa State. Maybe
there's so many of them.
I know, right? But it was recent, and there were so many fans from that fan base that were like, I had no idea that you guys did this. Like, this is absolutely amazing. Like, I could never hate you guys. Well, I'm only going to hate you guys for the 60 minutes that we play. And then after that, we're going to go back to being, friends. And then there's other ones that said, yeah, I don't really believe Utah anymore. About there's no way. And for those fan bases to see the impact that we're trying to make, I think they start to put things into perspective, and they go, you know what? This is just a game. We should respect, their fan base as humans, and BYU is phenomenal for the Big 12 and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, they are. And wherever the team goes, wherever we go with this show, there's people like the Marshes.
Yeah.
Which is the salt of the earth, and we're so glad to have him on the show. 6 minutes left. It's a 2-point game. 5.5 minutes left. It's a 2-point game. Arizona of the Big 12 trying to beat the defending national champions 74-72. And so what that means is we've got about 25 more minutes to tackle some more football, and that's what we really like to do.
Yes, football.
Bear Bachmeier named the Manning Award Quarterback of the Week for his performance at Iowa State. 307 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 49 rushing yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. Probably going to need to mirror that in Lubbock on Saturday. And Fox College football analyst Robert Griffin III, who has called the last 2 BYU games on Fox, lists Bear as among his top 5 Heisman Trophy candidates. He's now made Robert Griffin III's list. And you know what? Whenever we see a list like that, we're going to have it on Wise Guys.
Absolutely.
He's not on a lot of those Heisman lists, but he's on that one. And that's why we're talking about it on this show.
There'll be some trolls or some haters that'll be like, oh, are you LDS now? Did you just join the church? And blah, blah, blah. Just some haters out there. But I think this goes to the point that I made earlier that with Jaeger and not having certain audiences be able to see your game. And especially the audiences that are on the East Coast. Yeah. And predominant ones, right? A lot of those SEC country, East Coast, they live in those type of areas. And when you have somebody, like Robert Griffin III, with his pedigree and what he's done and his experience, for him to come out and say that, like the value that brings, right? It's like if my son came to you, Dave, and said I was the best basketball player in the world, you would make a smart comment, funny comment to him. But if Michael Jordan said that, it'd be a whole nother, it'd be a whole nother thing. So the credibility is there. And going back to the point I was trying to make, sorry, I'm going on another.
Sorry, I can see North Dakota.
Okay, I'm getting pissed off. The point I'm trying to make is that when you have analysts that traditionally are covering East Coast or down south, type of games and big games, when you finally have one that can cover talent over here, this is what you get. It opens the eyes up to the nation that, hey, these guys can play ball out here.
Rodney on the stream says another book on the way for the folks in Lubbock. Thanks, nice. Rodney. Ryder Lyons opened up his mission call last night. The 5-star quarterback coming to BYU will be spending 2 years in the Orlando, Florida mission speaking Spanish. He'll graduate from high school next month and report for his mission in January, but called for 2 years to serve in Orlando, Florida, speaking Spanish. And by the way, the football team will be playing in Orlando, Florida next fall when BYU goes back to play UCF.
Perfect.
And mission president, if you're listening, or somebody who knows you, that's a good mission activity to get to that football game.
It's great.
Let Ryder check out his guys.
You're there to support the church team, right?
Yes, you are.
That's what it is. And you know what I thought about? Because a lot of players, they speak Spanish in different languages. Because he's doing Spanish, and I know a lot of players do, I wonder if they can call audibles in Spanish.
Is that possible? It seems like it could, but everyone else would have to know what you're talking about.
They don't got to worry about it. We don't got to include them.
So that reminds me of a story. When I was on my mission, BYU came to Texas, to Austin, to play the Longhorns. And our mission president allowed our zone to go to the game. Nice. But my dad came down when he was the head of the Cougar Club. And so my companion and I sat in the president's box eating lasagna and ice cream. And the rest of our zone it was 105 degrees. And they were down there baking. But BYU won the game, so everyone was happy.
I would have been pissed off.
So
I've been pissed.
You know what? You need to be Elder McCann's companion. Then you'd be sitting up in the box.
Or I would have been like, well, he must be living better than me. What does Bronco say? When you're living right?
His dad. No, that's Austin Collie. Magic happened for us. Magic happened in the president's box. All right. Here's the Big 12 standings. BYU in first place alone at 5-0. Texas Tech and Cincinnati are second at 5-1, and then Houston, Arizona State, and Utah are after that.
So those are only
fourth place.
Those are the only ones that we really care about.
They're really the ones that are in the mix.
Yeah.
All right. What did we learn over the weekend? And we're looking at about 25 minutes and some change, unless this goes to overtime. But we'll get you out before tip-off. What we learned over the weekend: Texas Tech beat Kansas State 43-20. The Wildcats had 5 turnovers. That's how you lose at home.
Yeah. What I heard on the broadcast, which is what I learned, is that Texas Tech has these dummies up all over their campus, right? Where their sports, facilities, where they're springs, so that when they walk past, they punch at them to practice punching the ball out when they tackle.
Really?
Yeah.
Arizona State won at Iowa State 24-19. Iowa State is done.
Yeah.
Arizona State didn't even play their quarterback Sam Levitt's out for the year, and then they went and beat the Cyclones. Iowa State's out. Yeah. They went from projected to be the contender to out. West Virginia went to Houston. Speaking of surprise stories with Houston, and the Mountaineers won 45-35.
This doesn't surprise me, actually. It doesn't, because
they were so bad. That surprised me. But in this league, anybody can beat anybody.
And this is the main reason why I've been saying this since BYU beat them, earlier this year. When they get healthy, it's going to look like a completely different team. And they still don't have all their guys back. Some guys are out for the year, but that one wasn't surprising to me.
Okay.
But you're right. They can play with anybody in this league.
Utah beat Cincinnati, gave the Bearcats their first conference loss, 45-14.
Yeah, I hated that.
Bearcats didn't even show up. Kansas beat Oklahoma State 38-21. Everyone's doing that. Baylor beat UCF 30-3. Baylor's an up and down team. And Arizona went and destroyed Colorado. I think the entire starting lineup for the Buffaloes, is on the injured list. And it has been for about a month.
Yeah.
But Arizona beat them 52-17. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. When you have to cross-train offensive linemen and starting to bring defensive linemen over to the other side of the ball, that in any position, actually, that's you're hurting.
They're hurt.
Yeah.
This week in the Big 12, there's 5 games. Houston's at UCF Friday night at 6 on FS1. That was going to be a bigger game than it is now after Houston got beat by West Virginia. BYU at Texas Tech kicks off Saturday morning at 10 on ABC. Colorado's at West Virginia at 10 on TNT. Iowa State's at TCU at 1:30 on Fox. So chance to watch the BYU game, and then TCU's coming to town the following week.
Yeah.
So you can get a sneak peek at the Horned Frogs. And Kansas is at Arizona at 1:30 on Saturday on ESPN 2. Let's do our Cougar Board question of the week. If you're not familiar with Cougar Board, it's the largest online community of BYU fans with thousands of posts every day. This one comes in from Royal Blue Menace, one of their insider subscribers. Below, Cougar Nation seems concerned. Is Texas Tech really a better team than BYU? What does BYU need to do to win the game? I refer you to Below's 3 keys that he announced earlier in the show. But I don't know if Cougar Nation is afraid of Texas Tech. Should they be concerned? Absolutely they should. They're a top 10 team, and they're playing at home.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said earlier, I just heard glimpses, right? I look at stats when we're preparing for our shows. Do we see who's the number 1 rushing or passing team in the Big 12? You see the rankings, you see the highlights, and that was all fine and everything. But when I sat and watched play by play, the team is good. They are legit. The first 2 minutes I was like, wow, these guys really are good, and they are. And you're right, Dave. They're ranked for that reason. However, we're good too.
Yeah,
we're really good too. And I said that they remind their team, both sides of the ball, special teams, reminds me of us and how we play. And so I think that you shouldn't be concerned in regards to not being able to compete. In the past, BYU we haven't in moments like this, right? And when it comes to talent, we've got the wheels blown off us. But now you're not seeing that anymore.
There's no backing into the college football playoff.
No.
You want to be in the playoff. You're in a position to be in the playoff. Beat Texas Tech on their home field. Leave no doubt. Beat TCU, which will be a tough game in Provo. Go to Cincinnati and beat Cincinnati, and then beat UCF. Leave no doubt. And BYU's in a position to do that. They're the only team in the Big 12 in a position to run the table. But you do it, and then you go into the playoff, and if you lose the Big 12 championship game, you're still in the playoff.
Yeah. Right.
So it's all right there, and it could go either way. But I agree with you. BYU's a good team.
Yeah, that should be the theme moving forward. Leave no doubt. We should get shirts made. Yeah.
I think that's from Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Puka Nacua, by the way, the Rams receiver and former Cougar, set the NFL record for the most touchdown receptions in his first 35 games with 239. He got hurt again, but before he got hurt, he made a phenomenal catch in the end zone. So we congratulate Puka.
He needs to do more yoga or something. Just some flexibility.
Let's do this. The Relight Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Tonight, it's our pleasure to announce Jane Hedengren as this week's honoree. The freshman runner at BYU won the Big 12 championship last Friday, beating the field by 44 seconds. 44 seconds in a distance run. Her time of 18:29.60 broke the Big 12 championship course record by 30 seconds. Today, she was named the United States Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association National Athlete of the Week for the second time. She has 2 runs at BYU and has 2 course record performances. Hedengren also led the number 1 ranked Cougars to their 3rd straight Big 12 championship. And she will be at her first NCAA championship on November 22nd. Jane is part of this fantastic freshman 5 at BYU, A.J. DeBonsa, Bear Bachmeier, Kihei Akina, and Sully Davis. What an amazing time to be a BYU fan. Jane Hedengren is our first 2-time Relight Athlete of the Week, presented by Redmond. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. This is an Olympic gold medalist we're watching just settle in to her collegiate career.
I just want to give everybody some perspective. When you hear a cornerback that runs a 4.40 time, let's say 4.4340, which is super fast. Then you see a lineman that runs a 4.740, right? So a 4.4 versus a 4.7. I mean, those are tenths of a second, right? And you see the difference between speeds between those two. She's breaking stuff in 30.
Seriously.
It's hard to
We've never even seen it before. We're about to see something tonight we've never seen before with the number 1 recruit in the world playing for BYU.
Right.
Well, we're seeing the best runner.
It's crazy.
Arguably in the world, is certainly at her age. At BYU, and we're looking forward to having her on this show after they win the national championship again.
Absolutely.
But that's coming up next month. So congratulations to Jane. Campus Notes are presented by BYU Pathway. worldwide. BYU Pathway makes truly affordable, fully online, spiritually based college degrees accessible to folks worldwide through greatly reduced tuition, weekly peer gatherings, and English support, helping students earn sooner, increase their income, and deepen their faith. Learn more at byupathway.edu. Before we start with soccer, Arizona's pulling away from Florida, 85-76. Couple of minutes left in that, and about 5 timeouts, I think. And then there'll be a 20-minute warm-up period at least before BYU and Villanova. So we still have some time, but this is shaping up to be an enormous Big 12 win on opening night, as the Gators are ranked 3rd and the defending national champs, and Arizona's in at 13, and they are about to take them down in Las Vegas. But let's go to Fort Worth for our first big story with BYU soccer today.
Yeah, BYU upsets number 5 TCU 2-2, 4-3 in penalty kicks. My girl, who also touches my heart, Ellie Walbert, scores 2 goals. Chelsea Peterson first start at goalie for BYU, which is crazy.
Peyton Collins was out with an injury, so in she comes. She's on the road. She's playing number 5 TCU on their field. She made some phenomenal stops, and she got some help from her friends. And then in the PKs, she did just enough to win it.
And you got to think about being called to serve, right? Like what we say with missionaries, being called and being ready is that storyline right there. So shout out to both of them and the entire team. Up next, BYU will play Baylor in the semifinals. They're 8th and Baylor's is 5th. That's Wednesday, 3:30 Mountain on ESPN Plus, and then the NCAA tournament selection show next Monday.
This win likely got them in. They might have been in already. But beating TCU is huge for BYU. They got in the tournament as the 8th seed because they beat Utah 2-0.
And you see
the regular season.
And you see the momentum, with tournament sports like this. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, but you also want to peak at the right time.
Never count BYU out. I sent Jen Rockwood a text, who comes on our show every year before the season, and said congrats. And I said, now that was fun. And she just said back, thank you, with some exclamation points. She had a great time. And we wish them the best on Wednesday in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament, now that they've eliminated the number 1 seed. Cross country, the women are still ranked number 1 in the country. The men are ranked number 8. At the Big 12 championships on Halloween, the women took first place, a three-peat now. They've been in the Big 12 3 times. They've won 3 Big 12 titles. Jane Hedengren was the individual champion. As we mentioned a moment ago, she broke the Big 12 championship course record in the 6K by 30 seconds. Riley Chamberlain, Naylor Roberts, Taylor Lovell, and Zariel Makia also topped 13 finishes. Going back to the WCC now, BYU has won 7 consecutive conference championships. The men took 4th place in their Big 12 run, trying to defend their title. Up next is the NCAA Mountain Regionals, November 14th in Salt Lake City. The NCAA Championships are November 22nd. The BYU women are the team to beat. And the men can make another run. They won it last year. They'll go for it another, and we'll talk about that in the weeks coming up. But kudos to the men's and women's cross-country teams at BYU, and the women are number 1, and they run like it.
What a time to be a Cougar.
Hey, and you know what? Women's volleyball is kicking along.
They sure are. Nationally ranked, so they're 18-5, nationally ranked 21. I wonder how many teams right now are currently ranked in the top 25. They beat Kansas State on Halloween 3-0. Sully Davis had 12 kills. Lost to UCF 3-1. The Big 12 standings currently is BYU is tied in 6th place, 2 games out of 3rd place in the loss column.
How about that? They're ranked number 21, and they're tied for 6th place in the Big 12.
That lets you know how good and deep this. And it's not like the SEC. It's actually
there are more than just 4 good teams.
Yes, exactly, 100%. Up next is a huge week for them. They'll play at Arizona. That's Wednesday on the 6th, and then at Arizona State Friday the 7th. Both games start at 7 Mountain on ESPN+.
So Arizona State is number 1 in the conference. They won a 3-2 thriller here, and this is the rematch. They're also in the top 10. So yeah, huge week. Women's basketball, BYU defeated Western Colorado 86-50 in their lone exhibition game. Freshman Sydney Benali had 15 points. Up next, the season opener, Coastal Carolina at BYU on Wednesday at 7. And then San Jose State's at BYU Saturday at 2. Both those games on ESPN+.
San Jose State.
Yeah.
My hometown.
Spartans coming to town.
The Bay Area. They were horrible.
By the way, it's 88-82 with just under 50 seconds left in Vegas between Arizona and Florida.
88-82. Was that 6?
6 points.
Okay.
6 points.
Is that how much time do you think that's left?
With 47 seconds left.
No, well, I'm saying in not game time, like real time.
Oh, bro, yeah, maybe
10 minutes,
maybe
5 minutes.
No, maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
maybe less. But then there's going to be the post game and all that stuff leading up to the BYU game.
Yeah. You're right.
All right, men's golf.
Currently nationally ranked 25. That's another team. BYU men wrapped up the fall season with a 5-shot victory at the Preserve Golf Club Collegiate in Carmel, California. Tyson Shelley won the individual title at 11 under, and freshman Kihei Akina.
Yeah,
he was here when I was here. Right,
yeah,
at that time. I should
dude.
probably know that.
He play golf
because he likes Drake, like how I used to like Drake.
Yeah, we all like the Drake.
Shout out to the Dodgers. Simon Kwan tied for 5th at -8. Next tournament for the men, Arizona Collegiate in Tucson, January 26th. And next tournament for the women, Collegiate Invitational in Guadalajara, Mexico.
I'd like to go to Guadalajara. I'd like to cover that tournament for the wise guys. Jack, maybe we could get some funding to I'll just call it in from Mexico to cover the
Hey Jack, I volunteer.
You can go with me.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. No, you'll be here. I mean, Jack and I are going.
No. It's going to be. Why don't we do it? Why don't we do the show from there?
That's a great idea.
Right?
It's 88.
Us three though.
80. It's 88-85 now. Florida's cut it in half with 44 seconds left. Game 1. BYU's coming up after this one. Campus notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. Let's roll out let's go down the home stretch.
Let's do it.
With On This Day on November 3rd. We promised you we'd be done before tip-off, and we are going to deliver. But not before we go out with a bang. On this day, November 3rd.
On this day, 1796, John Adams is elected president of the United States.
November 3rd is typically an election day. It's 1911. Chevrolet enters the auto market in competition with the Ford Model T. So Chevy became a player on this day in 1911.
Should have made it Tesla. 1956, The Wizard of Oz makes its network television debut on CBS.
You know, The Wizard of Oz is playing at the Sphere in Vegas.
Oh, that's got to be
I understand
cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Some of my family's going down to check it out.
Hey, what if we?
I think it's like $300 to get in, but I think it's worth it.
Oh, actually, I would pay $600.
They got a wind blowing in there. I don't know if they release flying monkeys, but if anyone can do it, Vegas can do it.
Hey, we should watch a football game there.
That would be fun.
That would be good, huh?
1962 on this day, Wilt Chamberlain scores 72 points for San Francisco against the Lakers. It remains the 6th highest game total in NBA history.
Crazy. 1973, BYU's Jay Miller sets the NCAA single-game record with 22 receptions for 263 yards. All 22 passes from our guy, Gary Scheide. BYU beat New Mexico 56-21.
How about that? On this day, that happened. On this day in 1994, the first PlayStation console is released by Sony in Japan. That changed the world.
It changed my life. 1996. Kobe Bryant becomes the youngest player to make his NBA debut, 18 years, 2 months, and 11 days old.
1996 on this day, Jerry Rice becomes the first player in NFL history to reach 1,000 career receptions. He finished with 1,549. A lot of those from Steve Young.
Yeah. I grew up seeing a lot of those too. Changed my life as well. 1999, Lakers played their first game at Staples Center.
1999. The thing's been around this long. 2001, Arkansas beat Ole Miss 58-56 in 7 overtimes. Longest game in NCAA football history.
Now, I thought the Georgia Georgia Tech game last year or 2 years ago was.
It was pretty good, but I don't think it was this one. But it didn't happen on this day. It happened on this day.
Oh, you're right. I'm
the longest
sorry.
game in NCAA football history. But I will have to double check. But
No.
According to the records, this is it.
The longest. But you know what? Back then they didn't have the overtime rules that we had.
That's right.
So that
They
we have
do
now.
those 2-point conversions and all that stuff.
They had the real actually switching. Yeah.
Yeah. On this day in 2025, number 8 ranked BYU opened the college basketball season against Villanova at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas with tip-off about 30 minutes away on TNT and BYU Radio. See, that's history that's actually about to happen on this day.
In the present.
We threw it on the show.
Yeah, that one threw me off a little bit. I was like,
sorry.
I don't know if he's...
November 3rd birthdays. I'm glad you read through it.
See, there's some classes I did go to, Dave. There's other classes I didn't go to.
Born on this day in 1908, Bronco Nagurski, the Bears running back. The Nagurski Award goes to college football's top defensive player.
Yeah. Birth 1949, Larry Holmes, heavyweight champion.
Yeah, Larry Holmes. 1953, Dennis Miller, comedian, born on this day. November 3rd deaths, 2022, Ray Guy, longtime punter for the Oakland Raiders. Mark Wilson, when he was here on the show, told us a great story. Ray Guy was the punter for his team, right? Wilson won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders, and he said he was just phenomenal. Ray Guy died on this day. Back in 2022.
That's the award, too, for college, right?
Yeah, best punter.
Best punter, yeah.
Our Wise Guys inspirational quote of the week is from John Wooden, legendary UCLA basketball coach, here on opening night of the college hoops season. And John Wooden said this:
Talent is God-given, be humble. Fame is man-given, be careful. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given, be careful. I love that you picked that one. It's like perfect.
Talent's God-given, be humble. Fame is man-given, be grateful. Conceit is self-given, be careful.
Yeah.
Words to live by from the great
Absolutely.
John Wooden. I'll remind you, coming up in a few minutes on TNT, the season opener of BYU basketball. The Cougars face Villanova at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. You can find the post-game coverage on the BYU TV app and ESPN Plus. They'll go deep into the night if they have to. It'll be fun to hear from the guys after we see the guys in their big debut. Next week, former Cougars Isaiah Kafusi and Connor Pay will join the show.
Nice.
That'll be fun. We'll see if BYU's 9-0 and climbing or 8-1. You know what's interesting too is if you're ranked 8th and you go play at the 9th ranked team in their stadium and you play them tight and you lose, do you just switch spots? I mean, BYU should not tumble if you lose on the road to a team that's ranked one spot behind you. It'll be curious to see what happens.
The normal top 10 team, yes. BYU, no.
Hopefully that won't be the case, but we'll cover it all from all those angles. Here's where you can find us. There's no AFR tomorrow. The show returns next Tuesday on the BYU TV app and ESPN Plus. BYU Sports Nation Game Day is Saturday morning, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Don't show up at 8:30. You show up before 8 a.m.
Dave, you can go back and listen to an interview I did earlier this morning on the podcast. I already said I started yesterday. Going to bed at 8 o'clock.
Good, you're getting ready.
And I set my alarm at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm getting my, I'm getting prepared.
I'll call you too.
I'm getting prepared. Now you got to talk to Harvey, not me.
Yeah, that's true. We're starting early, 8 a.m. on BYU TV and ESPN Plus. 2 hours of pregame coverage leading up to BYU and Texas Tech. We'll show you the warm-ups and have the stories, and it'll be fun. Our postgame show follows the game on the BYU TV app and ESPN Plus. And Blaine and I will see you for BYU basketball against Holy Cross next Saturday, or this Saturday rather, at 7 Mountain Time on ESPN Plus, and I'll have a few stories in the Deseret News. So that's where you can find us this week. The game has gone final. Arizona picks up the first big win for the Big 12.
Nice.
Beating Florida 93-87. They'll clear off the floor, and the Cougars and Wildcats will get about 20 minutes to warm up. And so there's time to order pizza, pop some popcorn, and there's also time for us to remind you that Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, supplies plus support. Find out more at bradyplus.com.
by Eddie, HR and payroll software built for small businesses. See how Eddie can serve your team at eddie.com.
And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Find out what they can do for you at macu.com, MACU.com.
Is Relight?
Relight. Yeah. Door number 3, Relight.
Oh. Relight Athlete of the Week presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com.
We also acknowledge our partnership with Strategy Square. Let Chantal help you grow your company's social media presence. Find out how at strategysquare.co. We're so grateful to have the Marshes with us from Lubbock. We hope everyone has a great time at the big game on Saturday. We remind you, Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. Bilo, thank you for being here.
Always.
Good to have you with us.
Looking for our trip next year in Mexico.
Or in January.
Or January, yeah. Next year.
I'll get to you. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah,
but I like how it's coming together.
Yeah, no, I think that I could be like your Spencer, right? Like if I could be on the sideline somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think there's a lot of potential. Cougar Nation, don't you just love big games and being in big games? BYU Villanova is a big game. The Cougars have never been ranked 8th in a preseason AP Top 25 in history. That's coming up on TNT in 20 minutes. BYU and Texas Tech fighting over first place in the Big 12, live on ABC TV. The Cougars have never been in a top 10 matchup like this, number 8 against number 9. And we're in it. We're in it to win it and have a good time. Enjoy the ride, everybody. Enjoy it all. And we'll see you next week here on Wise Guys. We're so glad that you got us into your Monday night, kind of a quasi pregame show. And now let's all turn on TNT and see just what AJ DeBonsa and the Cougars are going to give us. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.